I
don't know.
Hey, yo, what's up, people? We are live. This is your boy John, CV Hangout, doing a late night with my boy Troy Nalls. Troy is a video producer, entrepreneur, all-around smart guy, very funny, a good friend. I've known him for, I don't know, a couple of years now, few dozen years. I don't know. It's been a minute now. It's been a minute, yeah. And what's up, man? What's going on in your world?
Man, just doing the Corona Hangout with John Lawson, trying to share this. I'm getting old, so I can't.
Yeah, you got to share, man. You got like the biggest audience of crazy people I've ever seen on Facebook and on Instagram.
I think I'm in like 5th place compared to you and some of the people that you roll with. So
okay, well, if you make top 5, that is really great.
Hey, here we go. So
you know what I'm saying?
Try to share it like this. So tell me what you've been up to, man. I mean, your whole life and your whole business was seemed like travel and speaking in different places. Like,
yeah,
tell me you come out. And so, what's that like now? Now that you're not.
Well, let's do that. I mean, because you figure just a little over a year ago, you were the producer for my thing, and you followed me around for what? How long were we on the road for? Like 3 or 4 days, right?
No, it was 8 days.
Was it 8 days? No,
it was 8 days. It was San Diego and
Vegas.
Like 3 days there, and then Vegas. It was, I think, it was 5 days in San Diego, and the thing was there was 2 days off, but it was not enough space to go home.
Right, because you were thinking of going home, and then you decided not to. Between Vegas and you're right. We did, right? So it felt like it was okay. Wow.
Yeah. Okay. And it seemed like you had a dozen keynote speeches, and we walked probably 12 miles throughout.
No, we did not. That is
various convention centers.
That is not true. That is not true. But we did do a lot. We had a good time. And yes, I think for me, and you talk about you too, because but for me, the travel seems like it dried up, and it's not going to go back for a minute in terms of business.
Yes.
Hey, Meredith.
Tamara.
What?
Hey, Tamara.
Hey, John, say hello. Okay.
Hello. So, that's me. But I mean, also for you, you did a lot of travel. I think yes, I did a lot of more international, but I think you did more, puddle hopping around this country.
Yeah. It's everything's different now, and I don't think it's ever going back to what it was. But I see you do a lot of this now, and this I think has replaced the conference. Like, what's the conference business looking like? Never mind the travel, because that's what you were like. You're a keynote speaker.
Yeah, So the thing is with us, everybody's trying to be hopeful, and they are pushing dates out as much as possible. To make sure that there's not cancellations. But honestly, everything's pushed out to the fall right now.
So I'm from Texas, so it's summer and not summer. What is fall?
Fall will be, like October, November, September, October, November. August, September, October, November. August is late. That's late summer, but because really, the fall doesn't start till October for real. Right. But we kind of, back to school month, September, October, November, man.
I forgot about school too.
Yeah, school's out, right?
Yeah.
So what does that do? What does that do for the kids? Did your kids come home for school?
Oh, they're all grown, but I think that with the casinos being closed and the churches, who thought you could close both? You know what I mean?
Okay. We'll go deep on that in just a moment.
Well, I think we both live in the 2 states that opened up early. What are your opinions on Atlanta opening up? Are you out there, running those streets?
Absolutely not. However, I was telling somebody that it's a double-edged sword because I really don't. I believe, and we can look at that real fast because that's the crazy thing, right? I'm going to show this because I did actually have this. Let me share this on the screen just for the folks. Applications, Chrome tabs. Georgia has this unique public health thing going on. Can you see that?
Yes, I can.
All right. And so they kind of tell us where we've been and where we're going a little bit, right? So this is Atlanta right here. And you see we've got, right? That's the 3,200 confirmed cases, right? That's Atlanta because you know Atlanta, right? So what we call all Atlanta is all this stuff right here. That's what we call Atlanta. So that's Cobb County where your boy lives. You know, that's Forsyth County, which nobody goes to. Over here's Gwinnett where I live, and that's DeKalb County.
Okay.
So you get it. I mean, we're pretty hot when you put all these three together.
So if you can get outside of Atlanta, you straight.
Not necessarily. I'm saying like Gwinnett is 2,200.
Well, I'm talking about just all those counties that make up Atlanta metro area. Because I'm looking at the rest of the state. Look, the rest of the state looks okay.
It's okay, right? It is. But the deal is that they've got something breaking out up here in Hall County. So, and that's moving over to this county. So, and then they had something break out down here, and it's moving into these counties. So, and this is when they decide to open up because we have great leadership in our state. How's your state doing?
Hey, same thing. I need to look and see if I got some stats like that on Dallas. And
we do.
Let's go.
Let's look at the U.S. All right, and they said over here that they have city data now. Let's see if I can find it. So cases by county. No, I don't want cases by county. I want cases by. I don't know. It doesn't really show that the way I want it to. But we do have a map. So here's your map.
Let's see.
Let's go in deeper in Dallas. That's kind of cool. All right. So in Dallas, you got over 1,000 cases, yeah?
Yeah. You got the same kind of graph, or is not as fancy
It's not.
as?
That one was, my state's actual spot. I don't know if they have yours, Let's see.
What would I Google? Texas COVID map?
But yeah, look for that, or Dallas COVID map.
Okay, so I'm saying Harris County, which is Houston, has 6,800 cases, 133 deaths. Dallas County, 4,100 confirmed, 111 deaths. Tarrant County, which is Arlington, so effectively Dallas, 2,500.
Oh yeah,
so
yeah.
7,500 in my area and close to 200 deaths. Travis County, which is Austin, 1,700 cases, 378 recovered, 52 deaths. And San Antonio, Bexar County, 1,600 confirmed and 48 deaths.
So like from what is that going up or down? Or flat?
I wish I knew, man. There's so much misinformation out. I have no idea.
Here's the deal. Here's your baseline. You got a baseline right now today.
Yeah.
Everything before that is speculative. But from where you are today, you can move forward, And that's just what it's all about. But I know for my county, for Atlanta, 3 days ago, we were at our peak day.
Right.
3 days ago. We opened the city like 10 days ago, or 7 to 10 days ago. So I'm not really understanding what the plan is here. I really am. It's normally I want to be very, here's where we're going and all that. But honestly, I don't know what the hell they're doing. I'm really confused by everything right now.
Well, it looked like they opened up all the Negro spots in ATL, except for Bowl Valley.
Excuse me. ATL is the Negro spot. I mean,
Right. But do Negroes bowl? Like they open up the bowling alleys too, right?
no, not really, And, I think really, honestly, they opened up all the independently owned businesses. That's what they did.
Oh, okay.
I think that if you really peel it all the way back and you say, what was the thing that was in common with all those businesses? That's the thing that's in common.
Small business.
Small business, independently owned. Well, I mean, they have to be because those are the businesses that you make for small business.
Right.
I mean, it's not like they talk about they didn't, I mean, they opened restaurants too, but most of the chain restaurants were already open.
Right. Right.
And so but go ahead.
No. So tell me what a day looks like in John Lawson's world.
I mean, hey, Linda. Hi, Troy. She's telling you hi, Troy. You know what? The deal is, brother, is that my day, okay, I tell people like this to be funny, but I realized I was married. It's like, oh, I'm married, right? Because, I spend so much time either on the road or coming home from the road, because coming home from the road is a transition too, right? Yeah. This, right? It's like it takes a day for you to get used to being back home and for my husband to be used to not being alone, And so that was where we were. And all of a sudden it's like, okay, now we're home and we're sheltered in place together. And that was the way it was when I would be home, because I would be running on the road and at those events. And like you said, talking and walking around and meeting and greeting, that when I would come home, this already though.
Yeah.
Being at my house, that it's just, get up, go in the office here, do some work, make dinner, watch some TV. I mean, that's my life when I'm at home, but it used to be just 2 or 3 days a week.
Right.
And now but I mean, I can't say it's any worse. You remember how it was when we were sheltered in place for the storm?
But that was only 4 days, man.
4 days, we had the snowstorm.
Yeah. And the funny thing, I forgot about that, and I'm glad you brought that up, because by that third day, we was itching to get out, and we were taking risk driving on the ice with all those cars in the ditch. You know what I mean?
No, we needed food, bro.
We needed food.
We couldn't even order pizza at that time. So
we was almost down to cat food.
Yeah. So we was like, if people don't know what we're talking about, Snowmageddon was like 2015, I think, or 15 or 16 here in Atlanta. And we had an inch of snow. That's all it took. And it shut the entire city down. You might remember that if you saw it on the news. And Troy happened to be at my house you were just coming for a day.
I was at your office.
You were that's true.
Listen, we're at the office. You say, hey man, it looks like it's about to get bad. And I was about to go to Marietta to stay with my dude straight, right? You said, man, I don't know. We might want to go and just see what's going on, because they say it's gonna be bad. And next thing you know, man, it was a wrap.
It was a wrap because we were filming in the office.
Yeah.
At the warehouse.
Yep.
Yes, and I remember we walked outside. I'm like, bro, there's like a half an inch of snow out here.
Yeah, we didn't get a chance to go to the store or nothing.
We didn't. We went straight home. Real slow. I remember now. That's true. Yeah. And dude, who knew?
Yeah. And now that was preparation for this.
Possibly. That was the closest thing to this.
When I think back to the San Diego and the Las Vegas trip, the one thing that I remember, that it was like we had two days off, I think, in San Diego. And if I had to do all over now that I'm quarantined, I would have maximized those days. Remember we were talking about going
to Mexico.
Yeah. And we didn't do it. Like, I'm too tired. I don't feel like it,
Yeah.
And,
you messed up.
Start thinking about the things you didn't do.
You messed up. We could have been in Tijuana.
I'm telling you, probably been still there.
No, trust me, you'd have been wanting to go at night. You'd have been like, all right, it's getting dark. Time to go across back home.
Right. So now that you're in this new space, man, what's your pivot? What are you doing different?
What am I doing different? I mean, I'm doing a lot more. You know what I always have done is I've helped other speakers, authors, trainers monetize their business, make more money in their business on the back end, and I'm doing more of that.
Right.
And that's good. And then I am getting ready to probably do a training class for people for a side hustle if they want to do something for a side hustle. And that's just, that's coming. That's what I've been working on. What about you?
Well, hold on. And so now you're
in interview mode.
No, you actually have the time to do the things that you always said or you wanted to do, and they're kind of getting done now. That what I'm hearing?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Although still, inside of me, I got to get myself together. But other than that, yes.
Well, I think for me, I have been working on a couple of projects. One with the city of Boston. I've had to learn a new program. Are you familiar with Adobe Captivate?
Not really.
And so it's best I can explain it. It's interactive presentations, like interactive videos. It's kind of like PowerPoint with choices. And so a screen might come up and say, hey, you can watch this video, you can watch that video, or you can download that file. And a client that I work with, they put on public meetings for the city of Austin where they're not doing public meetings anymore. And so I had told them about Captivate, just kind of like, hey, check out Captivate. And they went and sold it to the city of Austin. And so now I have to deliver it. And so for the last 2 weeks, I've been, LinkedIn bought lynda.com. Do you know that?
Yes.
And so now you got LinkedIn Learning. So I just went on LinkedIn Learning and I've been studying these classes online. And then every time I have a question, I go to YouTube. And I'm telling you, man, you get a full education between LinkedIn Learning or lynda.com and YouTube. And you just got to ask the question. And it's incredible, man.
Well, except if you're trying to learn about Corona.
Yeah, that part.
LinkedIn, I mean, not LinkedIn, but YouTube is full of crap if you try to look up Corona.
Right. But I will tell you, like, this program, it probably should have took me in my normal life maybe 6 months to a year to master.
Oh, but you're able to just sit there and do it.
And no, but what I'm saying is I've had a compressed time schedule because I have a deadline. It's amazing what you can do when you have to do it, and then you don't have like all my homies who've been to prison, when they're still in prison, they are the most resourceful people. They cook good, they can stab people, they can take a toothbrush and turn it into a razor, shave, they make dance videos, they're on Facebook Live. They're doing all this creative stuff with nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's that. Look,
I have a friend, you'll get a kick out of this. He went to jail for life for murder when he was 22, 19 years ago. And he got into a program where he's working in the governor's mansion there in Atlanta. And when he was in the halfway house, he started researching how he can make money. What's the easiest way to make money online? And the results were coming back for him were social media. And since he was kind of buff from being in prison, he decided to do social media for personal trainers. And so he created a class up against a white wall because he was in a halfway house and put it on Udemy and sold 1,400 classes for $10 from incarcerated. And now that he's free, he made parole. And now that he's free, he's not focused anymore. Met women. You know what happens when you do that. You got all over the place. And he can eat food and he can drive. He can come and go. More than prison. He's Corona right now. He's in. He's not in Atlanta anymore. He's in wherever Big Boy is from, Savannah.
Okay.
Savannah. He's
so what's the lesson there?
The lesson is like when you have a lack of resources, sometimes when you have to focus and you have to get it done, as humans, man, we are resilient and we figure it out, and you see this all the time when you go to third world countries. You see people with this work ethic. Like, man, how did they figure out? I remember the first time I went to Korea and I watched these guys build a building, and they call Korea, the Republic of Korea, the rock, because it's built on a piece of damn rock. And 3 guys would get a shovel. They get a rope about this long, and a guy would hold the shovel because these are little people. And each guy would get on the side of that rope, and when he dug in, they would help him lift it up. Or you'd see little ladies carrying like full dressers the size of refrigerators on their back, hands behind their back. And you see people making the best with what they have, you know, and the limited amount of tools. Like me and you both grew up in a generation where we're analog, so we're very logical. And so we knew how to do things that didn't have a button press. And you have to go back to the root of really sitting down and dissecting and figuring things out, because you're not going anywhere, supposedly. You don't have a lot of other disruptions and interruptions. And so you can sit around and do nothing and eat ding dongs and look at ESPN or Netflix, but you can also get better at doing something that you normally be like, hey man, Troy's coming to town. But I come into town, that's a major disruption, because, you know, when you come into town, hey man, I'm in town. Guess what? I'm stopping everything. I'm picking John up from the airport. We're going to go out to Louisville, check out your pops. We're going to go over here and eat this food. And then we're not really getting a lot of work done. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then you might have another friend in town, like, okay, well, I'm going to hang out with my brother in Dallas, or I met this other guy over here, or I want to, you know, and so all the movement, all distractions, you know, and that's kind of what we signed up for. Like I remember even in Las Vegas, is like, okay, we're gonna go over here and hang out with this person. We're gonna hang out with that person. We're gonna go eat. We're gonna go to this dispensary. We're gonna walk over here. And then we're always trying to fill that time with all these activities, rather than focusing on what we were really there for, which was to, you know, do the keynotes and get some work done or whatever.
Now, excuse me, that was the focus.
That wasn't my tooth that fell out. That was my icebreaker.
Okay, that was the focus, Troy.
Okay. I was just trying to clean it up.
Yeah, we were supposed to go network and hang out and get to the dispensary and
get kicked out of the party.
The whole party get kicked out. We didn't get kicked out of the party. The whole party got kicked out.
Yeah, but you know, that's a memory we have. That's a war story.
Yeah.
Remember the time we got, and look, this year we'll talk about 5 or 10 years from now. Remember we got kicked out the party and we had to scale down the building. The story get better and better.
Ain't no story gonna get better than this, though.
No, not this one, but I'm just saying, like,
ain't no story gonna get better than this. You know.
So what's the now normal? I don't think it'll be a new normal. It's the now normal. I was telling my son that prior to 9/11, you didn't have TSA. You could take a 12-pack on a plane. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And now
your family could walk all the way up to the gate. They could watch the plane take off. They could wave at you.
We're still you had to go through the thing.
You went through security, but it wasn't TSA level.
Oh, so it wasn't called TSA back then.
No, that came too much after 9/11.
Yeah, you're right. It was all airport security.
Yeah, and it was private. It wasn't a federal
private security. Yes, right. Wow.
And we complained about that
a little
bit, you know, because we were afraid, like, hey man, I hope ain't no 9/11 hijackers on this plane.
Yeah.
But you know, after a year or two, it's like, man, you know, the airport. I was talking to another friend of mine. The airport used to be a fun place to go. Remember, you buy the little model planes and stuff, and now it's like it's the worst part of traveling.
Right. Well, I don't know. I used to like my lounging and stuff.
Well, you do. I forgot you travel at such a high level.
I'm not gonna say I didn't travel at a high level. I traveled at a higher level than the average travel.
I went to the American Express
lounge. Yeah.
Lounge with you.
Yeah, whatever.
I had never done that before. And you know, that was first class.
It is. I mean, absolutely. It's definitely being able, and so it would make the headache of being at the airport way better.
Well, you know, I travel mostly on Southwest. I'm A-list, and in 2019, I didn't travel enough to maintain my status.
Oh, okay.
And I went to the airport in January, and had to wait in line with the regular folks.
It's a whole nother world.
I was like, man, let me go ahead and pay for this.
The upgrade.
The fast lane. What's the fast lane?
Yeah, I know. Whatever. I used to know, but I know what you mean.
Not the official one. The one that
the pre-check. The pre-check.
Yeah, but it's like pre-check, but it's a different name. It's called somebody make a comment. What's the name of that thing?
Was it with your thumb?
Yeah, your thumb and your eye.
In your eye. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
I can't remember that one.
But I just forgot how convenient it is to have a special lane you go to and keep on moving along. You don't have to, wait in that 45-minute TSA line in Atlanta airport.
Yeah. I don't even know what's going to happen after this.
Yeah.
With travel.
And then even with travel, it seemed like I was getting sick on the plane. So the masks that I wear now, I bought those masks in January. Because it seemed like every time I got to LA, I start going west a lot. I would, I just seemed like I get, and the air quality in LA is not that good.
No, it's definitely not.
Pre-corona, I heard it's dope now. I heard it's amazing now. But I would, I was wearing masks, starting like December, January.
Wow. Okay. But people didn't look at you crazy? They
look at me crazy anyway because I'm already got the big black mask, I got the beard, I got the shades. I'm Suge Knight, escaped from jail. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God, that's cool, man. So it's good to catch up and see where you're at. Family's all good.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you hadn't caught cabin fever. Have you cleaned out the pool and just start lounging out there?
You're out lounging at the pool.
I'm asking you.
Oh no! You know what? It has not been warm enough yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We've been going up and down.
We've been going up and down too. Like today, I don't know. It's a little better now, but like I woke up this morning, it was 50 degrees. So
okay.
It's like you can't keep a pool warm like that unless.
I think it was 61 this morning. Let me see what it is right now. It's 64.
Yeah.
No, it's 70. It's 70.
That's still too cold.
About Texas, man. When I first moved to Texas, I didn't understand. If it was 95 in the daytime, it's going to be 91 at night. Growing up in California, if it was 90 in the day, it'd be 55.
Because you're in the desert. Yeah, you was in the desert in California. It'd be cold at night.
Yeah.
Not here. Not in Texas.
So when you going to start getting on the plane? When you going to feel comfortable? The planes never stop flying. Like when, I've heard a lot of people say there's only 2 or 3 people on the plane when it flies.
Right.
When you going to feel safe moving around again?
My friend, it's really, I mean, it's not, I'm not going to feel safe until I just have to do it. And when I have to do it, I will, when the call comes and the money's there and it's right, I'm going to go. That's all there is to it. I mean, I know how I want to travel.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In terms of, no, I don't need to be wrapped in a plastic bag. Yes, I have my gloves. Yes, I have, my mask, and I'm just not going to interact a whole lot. That's all. I mean, what are you going to do? I got to go.
Yeah, we were talking about or thinking about flying somewhere for our anniversary, which is next week, because the rates were so low, but then the rates went up. They're going back. They're climbing now.
Well, you know why, too.
Why?
A is because they know at some point we're going back to flying, but B, because they got their money.
Oh, okay.
See, the airlines are straight through September now.
They got their PPP money.
They got their PPP money, see? So they don't have to be artificially low, and there's nobody on the plane anyway.
Right.
So, but when it gets competitive again, they'll go low. It'll be a race to the bottom when it's competitive.
So, like, are you like just getting out for like mandatory stuff like grocery shopping, or are you like walking, like working out type of stuff?
Yeah, we walk, every day now. And
on Stone Mountain?
No, because that's been crazy.
Oh.
So we go to the park back where me and you walked.
In that where I said the slaves was used to run away at, that down back in there? Yeah, it looked like a horror movie, man.
Yeah. Great trails. But the good part is, I mean, even those are a lot of people, but it's so spread out that, you don't have to worry about that. You step to the side when people walk by. It's just weird because I'm doing that, and like this family's riding by on their bike because it's a bike and a walk trail in the woods for guys that know, right? And so this family's going by me. I step aside, and it's four of them, the parents and the two kids, and every single one of them look at me and it's like, thank you, sir, thank you. And I'm sitting there going like, look, stop looking at me directly and talking.
Don't look in my eyes.
Not when you're talking and we're breathing. I don't need that because I'm holding my breath the whole time anyway.
Right. What I'm starting to realize is that the people who are not social distancing are the ones who in our areas of town where they have the most means. And what I mean, the higher end grocery stores, Eatsies, the restaurant I like to go to. And it's like, people walking around like, ain't nothing going on,
That's why I don't play around.
Yeah.
I drove by a couple of places over the weekend and I was just like, well, it's way too crowded. I'm like, this is ridiculous. There's no reason for this many people to be out. I mean, when I was getting out, like on the first major crossroad street, the traffic was backed up. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I knew it was bad. That was Saturday. I went out and we were going over to the grocery store to get some plants or to the plant place. And I'm like, it's too, and we literally turned around and came back home. Lowe's was packed.
Yeah.
And people, I would say maybe 30% had on masks, and so you just sit there and you look at it and I'll say, you know what? They're not aware enough. They don't care enough for me to really be around them. And I don't think that's going to be the case in the airport.
Yeah. Well, I wonder how, have you had anyone, what's the closest person to you who got sick?
Second cousins.
Okay. In Georgia or somewhere else?
In West Virginia. So it'd be my dad's cousins.
Okay.
And I found out about it. He worked in a auto parts store behind the counter, and somebody in the store got it, and he got it from that person, gave it to his wife. So it really does spread. And they ended up, both him and his wife had a hospital stay. Yeah. They were not intubated. Okay. But they are back home. They didn't die. They were older people. Like I said, they're my father's cousins. But so that's, in terms of personal, that's the only personal I've had. How about yourself?
My buddy Corey, when things were getting warm, he had booked a trip to Disney with his family, and then also booked a Disney cruise. Well, he canceled the cruise and just went to Orlando, but didn't go to Disney. Mm-hmm. But on the way back into Dallas, they, flagged their plane or whatever, and he tested positive for coronavirus. And he also tested negative about 3 weeks later, but he was quarantined.
So he had been exposed to it
in Florida, some kind of way. And he got sick, went to the hospital, and they sent him home. He quarantined and, went back a couple weeks later and had a test, and he came negative. So, and you know what? And me and my wife were talking about this, and me and my son, I think I had something. So when I went to California in January, and I'm going to try to look and see if I can find the exact dates for a gig, I got sick, and I have asthma. I grew up with asthma, but I hadn't had an asthma attack or taken any medicine in over 25 years, maybe closer to 30 years. And I was like, man, I can't breathe, but I just thought it was the air quality. This is early, mid-January. And so I was driving, and my son and two other guys. Okay, so it was during NAMM, the music conference that I go to every year. That's what it was. So like the 18th or so. And driving, and I was laughing because my son told a joke that was phenomenally funny. And you know how you laugh sometimes, you lose your breath?
Catch your breath, yeah.
I fainted.
Oh.
Behind the wheel.
Oh.
Yeah. I was at stop sign, and I woke up with them beating on my chest. And So when we got to the hotel, we were like a block away from the hotel. They're like, "Hey man, you all right?" It's like, "No, I'm cool." He said, "You need to go to the doctor, man." I said, "Okay, I'll go in the morning." So I went up and laid down, speeding up a lot of mucus. I got up like 6 in the morning because I hate traffic in LA. I rode to the hospital, and they took me in and they treated me, asked me if I had asthma. They treated me like I had asthma, gave me a breathing treatment, albuterol, opened me up, and I felt so good after that. I didn't even wait for the medicine. I ran back, went straight back to work. 2-3 days later, I came back and picked up the medicines they prescribed, mostly asthma medication. But for the next 2 weeks, I was still tight in my chest as far as the mucus when I came back home. And I think if I didn't have the 19, I had like the 16 or the 12 or the 11 or something.
11. So, I mean, did you have a fever or did you ever check?
No, I didn't have fever, and they were going to test me for the flu, but they said, "Well, you're not doing this." But no one knew what was going on.
Right.
2 weeks later, my son goes out there, and he gets a bad asthma attack. And so I was like, "Look, man, why don't you just go ahead and come home? I'll book you a ticket," because he had like 4 more days out there, and the place he was at was not the most, like we're asthmatics, so we don't live in homes with carpet. So my wife has been very good about, non-allergenic stuff and getting the dust out, just because the kids have asthma more than I do. But where he was staying with our family member, they got carpet, shag carpet, and, cats and dogs and monkeys and spiders or whatever. And so I told him to come home. And he said,
those spiders are really bad for the.
Yeah, he knows his asthma and how it works, right? He's like, "Dad, I don't think I can fly right now."
Really?
Yeah, I don't think I can fly. So he toughed it out, came on home, and we just think whatever it was, it might have been a precursor to what it was. But we both went down with attacks where I did go to the hospital, and he should have went to the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
So interesting.
But nobody else in your family, you've heard any friends, any of that?
Now my 2 daughters are both been fortunate. They're both working from home with the companies that they were with.
Now, friends I got in New York, all of them been touched by it.
Really?
Yeah, pretty much.
Like
say it again.
Like one generation away, or themselves?
Like somebody in their building, or somebody at their friend's work, or you know what I'm saying? It's in those kind of places, it's bad. Yeah,
it's funny, man, because I have older parents like yourself, and you're like one of my only friends who has both their parents, like I do.
I know.
And my wife has both her parents.
Lucky.
And so yes, and we went and seen our parents, but we didn't get within 10 feet of them. And just because we didn't know what we were dealing with, but they would have a harder time recovering. And it was funny, we just kept it light. Just, "Okay, Mom, I see you didn't touch her, didn't get to hug her," and yeah,
that's hard, man.
Yeah,
it's hard, and it's like here's what we're doing. Like Mother's Day's coming up, and I really just miss the family and everything. So we're gonna do a tailgate.
Okay. What's that mean? More like at your house or
no? Because we're gonna go over to where my mom lives.
Yes.
Right. So she lives in the senior home, and it's not senior home. It's senior living.
Yeah.
And so we're just gonna do it in the parking lot.
Yeah.
And she's gonna come out, and we're gonna have our mask and everything, and stay the part away. But just sit with her. I mean, because I've gone over and sat on her patio with her before.
Yeah. The funny thing is, like, I talked about visiting my parents, and, everything's been good for us. But like my son's friend, the lead singer of his band, died in a hit and run during the quarantine. And so they couldn't have the funeral, or they couldn't see him in the hospital.
Yeah.
And like, even, the kind of work my son does, all of his gigs have been canceled. He was booked solid. So all the weddings gone, and all the church services. He plays at one virtual church. But people are being affected in ways that make me think of how we'll view this, or maybe them, because you figure they're in their 20s. They had the 9/11 thing.
Yep.
Had 2008 thing.
And now this. Yeah.
And Kobe Bryant died. You know what I'm saying?
And Trump got elected.
And Trump got like they've had all these things, and then not to mention student loans and all this other stuff. So I wonder if this will leave a mark like on our parents and grandparents with the the Depression.
Absolutely. You're already seeing it. I'm already seeing it. At least in my daughter. I mean, they just don't. I get it. I can't even imagine having to grow up in that much trauma. I mean, I'm thinking, I'm listening to Prince the other day, and Ronnie Talk to Russia comes on from that.
Oh, it's too late, huh?
Yes, and I'm like, that's what we had to worry about. Ronnie Talk to Russia before it's too late.
But that was stressful, man. That was.
I get it. It was stressful, but not on this level. Yeah,
and I think also, and I don't want to get into what I call struggle porn, but we were both born in the 60s, and we didn't remember a lot of it, man. But 68 was a very turbulent year, man. I think Martin Luther King was killed. Robert Kennedy was killed. A few years before that, Malcolm X was killed.
Yeah.
And you had the Vietnam War. I'm addicted to Vietnam War documentaries. You had people who were 19, 20 years old going off and dying. And now, as much as we've talked about the Vietnam War, watch the Ken Burns documentary, 10 parts, people just dying for nothing. We have surpassed the total deaths of Vietnam War with COVID-19.
Yeah, in a month.
Yeah. And I think the Vietnam War was like almost 25 years, 27 years.
Well, no, it wasn't that damn long.
It was from the first time we got there.
Oh, okay.
Really? The last man was out. And then because we were there just as we were just kind of peacekeepers looking around, just guiding, training and all that kind of stuff. It was real covert.
Wow. But yeah, that's the part I don't get in people. It's like, no matter what you think, no matter how you think about it, I mean, when you stop and just say 57,000 people, because I did the number, 57,000 people died in a 30-day period in April. 57,000 people. Then you go and you multiply that. Let's say 57,000 people had just 4 people that loved them on average.
Right.
You know, that's 250,000 Americans that are mourning or either dead. I don't grasp how that doesn't factor in to where we're going to be as a mentally, how we're going to deal with this. I get all the other mental factors, and I also get all of the factors of the economy. But here's the thing. We were only talking 4 to 6 more weeks. That's all we were talking about.
Right.
And then all hell, we can't even do 4 to 6 more weeks because it's going to destroy the economy. One of the richest economies ever known to man. Who are we? Whose economy are we trying to save? I don't get that part because we print the money, right? We print the money. We spend more in a year on the military than we were asking to spend to reboot this country.
Right.
Think about that.
Yeah.
Think about that. The budget for the military in 1 year.
Astronomical.
No, it's not astronomical. It's close to equivalent of what 1 more month of people without a job where they could pay for every person's salary, or at least so that they could survive. Just 1 month of that.
True.
This is what was going to destroy the economy. I don't know. I actually think going back to work is going to destroy the economy even more.
Why you say that?
Because, I mean, no matter what you think, wherever we are, if we say this is bad and the economy is going to be bad, it doesn't mean that the virus goes away.
Right.
I could understand if you were trading the economy for the virus, but what you're doing is you're saving the economy and letting the virus spread.
Letting it spread. And I think part of it is like like remember when we were young, you had the AIDS epidemic,
Yeah.
and or the crack epidemic. You can kind of see, okay, it's happened to that group of people. Like remember when it first started, they said black people couldn't get it because we was from Africa and we had like cocoa butter in our blood or something like shit like that, right? And then black people started dying left and right.
I hope like y'all couldn't wake up.
And when you walk outside, it's so beautiful. The grass is so green. The air is so clean. It doesn't look like Night of the Living Dead or whatever movie that is, The Walking Dead.
Right.
And people are looking for people who look sick, like Pookie and them on New Jack City. And I think that since people look normal until it's not normal, that's why people aren't saying, aren't taking it serious.
Yeah, I mean, it was it was insidious almost what we did to prepare for it, because we didn't prepare for it very well. So in order to mitigate it, what they told everybody was, if you're sick, don't come into the hospital.
Right.
So you got people that stayed and you didn't see them for a few weeks, but I got the confirm. But we never saw the suffering unless it went to the hospital. And then what happened was, since people were told not to go to the hospital, it didn't overload, the hospital system, which is good because that's the purpose of why we told them not to go. It's like, there's nothing we can do for you. You might as well stay home.
Right.
And so then people, it played into itself where it's like, well, look, you said the hospitals are going to be full and they're not full. I'm like, yes, because we told them not to go there because you didn't want to get more people to spread. So all the things we did to prepare all sort of worked against it, so that people said, oh, it ain't real. And then you let these high glossy, fake news YouTube reels come out, and it's a snowball. However, so to answer your question, I really believe, going all the way back to what you asked me about Atlanta, I think it's a double-edged sword. I think it's bad because people are going out, but it's also good for a person like me because I'm going to see exactly what's happening at ground level, whether or not it is going to spread or not. And I think I've got an insight on that. So,
yeah, I forgot I was on camera. I've been smelling this thing. I just want to show you. This is lavender.
Oh, okay. So that's your essential oil of the day.
Yeah. Well, just sitting here, and I was like, this dude's smelling stuff. Just wanted to show you I'm not crazy. Open up my nostrils.
There you go.
So have you been? I know your mother's of a certain age, and have she been giving you the old Negro spiritual remedies of bitters and salts and hots and apple cider vinegar and
none of that? That's not my mom. No.
Oh, okay.
She's just not that type,
Right.
She's got some things, but I think for this, it's, I was pretty much, here's the thing. I mean, I was ahead of the game. I was watching this thing back in January. I was reading what the Chinese were taking and what was working, they thought, you know what I mean? So prior to this, I told everybody, here's the vitamins you need to get. Here's what you need to do. And everybody took me seriously, and I think that has been a blessing. My nephew, my niece, my daughter, my mom, everybody we were 100 already aware of what was the best practices based on what had happened already in Wuhan. So we weren't waiting on home remedies. We used some of the research that we knew, and I think that's paid off, but who knows? Well,
I'm a fan of my grandmother who died years ago, September 11th, 2001. That's the day we buried her. She just had a way of putting together little stuff and just calming me. So maybe it was that elder's touch,
Absolutely. And you believed in it.
Yeah.
That has a lot to do with it too. That has a lot to do with it. But trust me, I've got some ancient Chinese medicine right in here.
Ancient Chinese secrets?
No, just they call it traditional Chinese medicine, TCM, right? Yeah. I got some sitting right in here that they used to say, hey, if you get it, take this. I got some of that too.
They put a little root in it and some ginseng and
Exactly. That's it, some root and some of this, So I don't discount those things either because nobody knows.
right.
There is no treatment. There is no cure right now.
Right.
Right. And I know people are doing it. I mean, have you seen the thing going around recently, on YouTube? And people have sent that to me. And I'm like, dude, come on.
Which one?
I don't know. It's some lady and some
Old
guy.
lady?
Yeah, some old lady talking. And the deal is you mix truth with falsehood and it looks like it's real. And you throw on top of that some really slick editing and it looks like a real deal. Here's the problem. I've done so much deep research just for my own self that I actually have seen the full version of the video clips that they are pulling out and trying to make it look like that when they sew them together, that it tells a story. And I'm like, those were the stupidest clips, back when I watched them, like the doctor sitting in his kitchen. And I'm like, what kind of fucking kitchen is this for a doc? He claims he's a surgeon, but he's sitting there in like the most ghetto apartment.
That's one who had the undershirt on, the underwear shirt. Right. And then he said his name. He had a different name right here. I was like, oh, he's wearing another doctor's shirt. Okay.
See, I didn't even catch that, but there were so many. Right. There were so many things when I watched the video. I was like, blah. And then there was another one that was on there, and I was like, blah. But then they pulled them together in this thing that's supposed to be a real documentary, and that was the evidence they were using. I'm like, okay, you just lost all credibility with me. Because if you took 2 minutes as a journalist to do your work, you would have caught that, right? Then she says something in the video about Italy. He asked her about Italy. She said
the old people.
She said two things. She said the old people and that the flu medicine that they had strains of H1N1 in it. Remember her saying that?
Yeah.
All right. So that was her answer for Italy. So I'm like, okay, bitch, what's your answer now that just yesterday the UK beat Italy's numbers? That all of a sudden makes your Italy non-valid.
Right.
Doesn't it? It totally blows a hole in that one.
Well, I remember like the first stuff that's coming out there was like, I got a friend at the Pentagon, a cousin, and they're going to do martial law. Remember that
martial law one?
They had the 5G.
Where's that at?
Yeah.
Where's the 5G at?
Yeah.
So it's one thing after another. And then on the other side, all right, on the other side is the news taking doctors' theories. Okay, these are all and reporting them as if they're true. All right. So the person that made the graph and said that we're going to have 200,000 people dead in the United States based on this, that person or whoever the organization made it said that there was a huge swath of it could be up this high or this low because they don't know exactly where it hits. It's like a tornado, a hurricane. The further away it is from the coast, the less accurate you're going to be with your numbers.
Right.
I can't tell you where the hurricane's going to actually end up. It might be in Miami. That shit might be in Jacksonville. I don't know. It might skip over all of Florida and end up in fucking
Georgia
or Louisiana, or go up this way. So that's the same way. That's what we're dealing with. Yeah. However, the news reports it as if that thing is going to happen, which makes that so that's the whole other end that's bad, annoying.
Hey man, I'm tired of it.
I am too. So I don't really talk about it too much anymore.
No, not even that. It's just and let me say I can't say I'm tired. Let's say I am grateful. Right, I do miss working out at the level I want to work out at. I swim. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I miss that. And I miss sitting down and eating at restaurants. I do.
We used to do that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm cooking a lot more at home. That's a benefit.
I'm enjoying that too.
Yeah.
It's like I was going to order a pizza and I pulled out a pizza crust and made it at home. And all of a sudden I like pizza at home now. And
There you go.
So I mean, but life is different, and I don't know. I don't know about. It's just not gonna. I don't know how long before I'm gonna feel cool sitting in a full restaurant. Oh my god,
Right.
it's a lot, And I'm not taking the damn vaccine either. I watched Night of the Living Dead way too much, and
I told my kids
and all that shit.
If it's mandatory, and I don't want to sound morbid, man, 52 years is a good run. I had a good run. I was born in the 60s. Okay.
I'm not hating on you on that, brother.
Yeah, I had a good run.
It was a good run. It was a good hour too.
Yeah. Hey, it has been an hour. So look, man, it's always good to catch up with you, man. And unfortunately, we can't catch up like we normally do, which is accidentally. And this is weird. Be like, where you at, man? Oh, I'm in Las Vegas. Me too. You know what I'm saying? How many times has that happened to us when we be in the same city or the same vicinity traveling? Or how many times have you flown to Dallas and I flew to Atlanta and we were in
the city? Yes. At least 2 or 3 times you've been in my city. I call you up. I'm in your city. You'd be like, I'm in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Like, dude. Yes, there have been times, at least 2 or 3 times that actually happened to us.
I remember that time we probably 2017 where we both ended up in Vegas. We met like at some little dive bar casino with the $3 steaks or whatever. We took that one picture next to.
Is that where you happened to meet there?
We just happened to. You was like, "Hey man, where you at?" I said, "I'm in Vegas." Like, I'm in Vegas too. Like, and then we just met somewhere.
We've been. You and I have been to Vegas a lot.
Yeah, I think.
Did we go to the club together in Vegas and meet Melinda?
I think that was that time. We went to that hood club.
Yeah, we went to. Yeah, you're right. That was. I think we ended up hitting her up, and we went up there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we gotta tell our story. If we remember.
Oh no, tell me. Remind me.
No, we gotta remember. Like it's there's so many times where we've done this,
Yeah, especially in Vegas. I'm just thinking that time with me, you, and Charles had dinner with your cousin. I don't think we were together then, and we just happened to meet up.
No, who was Charles? Who's Charles?
My buddy from Ohio, and we met at the Chinese restaurant.
That's right. Yeah.
Remember?
Sure. Yeah, I do. And that's when you met Shatar, she was on Flavor of Love.
Right. Absolutely. But that's the thing, man. That's the kind of life that I miss.
Yes.
I just miss. I have friends all over the country, all over the world, and not being able to see them. And then on top of just, people in the city here, but, knowing how long is it going to be before I get to travel like that and see those people.
Right. Well, one thing you've always been good at, I think, is continue to feed into those connections. Because it seems like every time I go to a different city with you, I meet a whole new set of friends that you have. Like, I went to San Diego, I met your San Diego crew. You have a crew in LA. You got your Texas crew. You got your Australian crew. You know what I'm saying? I hadn't met your Malaysian crew, but
I got a crew.
I'm on Facebook with some of them. And so you have these spaces where you kind of keep those relationships going. Because I think a lot of times we allow relationships to falter. And we get too busy or whatever. I'm going to say this, then I'm going to go. Our mutual friend, Ramon Ray.
Yes.
He did something that I thought was genius, and I've always wanted to do it, but hadn't. And maybe I will when things get to where we can move around. So he came to Dallas one time, and he called me up. Hey, Troy, what's going on, man? I said, nothing much, man. I'm in town. Wanted to know if you wanted to get together. I do. And basically what he did was he put together like a Google invite or event.
Right. I remember even just say, I'm going to be here at such time.
And he invited us all to Cheesecake Factory. Right?
Yeah.
And, are you coming? I think it was Google Calendar. I don't know. And like 9 of us showed up, and he got to see, and he explained it. Listen, if I go one place, I don't have to go all over the place to find where all my friends are.
Right.
And we all sat in this one space, and I got to meet people. And I'm in touch with a couple of those people that I met through Ramon because we went to that
Cheesecake
restaurant. Yeah. And I wish I should have done that. I took my whole family to LA. I was trying to meet all my friends that I grew up with. But this one lives over here. This was 29. I should have just did what Ramon did and had everybody come to a centralized place.
Yeah, I like that. I love that idea.
Yeah.
I love that. And yeah, I remember when he was doing that, you know, and he probably still does. Well, he will probably still do that when he gets back into the travel mode. Yeah, I talked to him yesterday. So, you know, the original king still lives on, you know, that's crazy. But man, I tell you, yeah, that's true, man. That was funny. That was the first thing that was canceled.
South by Southwest.
That's it. That was the first thing. I was like, oh wow.
Well, the first thing was NBA, wasn't it?
No, South by Southwest was a week before the NBA.
Oh.
The NBA was, for me, that was like, okay, this is real.
Oh yeah.
And it got realer and realer week after week after week. And then all of a sudden it became fake.
I get it.
You know, but it is what it is, bro. But it's been good catching up. I think I'm going to do more of these and just hang out with some people. That way I get it on tape. All right. Hey, Joseph, Jessica, Linda, thank you guys, Marianne, Robin. I see you, Meredith. Thank you all for hanging out. And I don't know.
And say hi to Linda Kane out in California, Rod Ball, Monica Bates, and my people out in California, Wayne, Chinook. I don't know if they're still here, but I just want to shout them out. We got it on record.
Is that what it is?
Yep.
There you go.
There we go.
Great stuff. I don't know.
What up, Dave?
I know. You're just, hey, I guess all we're doing is I'm catching up with friends, and y'all, my friends, are hanging out with us too.
Yeah. And
all right, man. I'm out, buddy.
All right, then take care, man.